You're such an asshole.
Getting shit done at assholeconsulting.com. Unlike other consultancies, our goal is to never see you again. Here's the solution to your problem. Thank you for your money, now get the fuck out. Unlike every other consultancy where it's like, we can adjust it, yes, we have solved this, oh, but we saw another problem. Trust us, we have MBAs and certifications. You have lots of problems and you need us. That we don't do that at Asshole Consulting. We're not a therapist. Oh, you might have the Asperger's and the autisms and the ADHDs. Give us more money and we'll give you drugs. No. The goal is that we solve your problem and you come to Asshole Consulting with completely new problems that we can solve, and thus there is progress in your life. We do more good here than the entire school system in the United States, and that's not a joke. Hey, Cappy, I hope all is well with you. Appreciate all the content, videos, and service. I highly recommend Bachelor Pad Economics. Must read for all young men out there. I'm writing to get some advice on cities in the United States to potentially relocate to, or at least places to check out. Recommend where I could spend 3 months or so a year to live and work remotely. I am a partner at a tech consulting company in Canada, which recently started doing some business in the United States. To give you a bit of a background, I'm a 34-year-old male. I've lived here most of my life, Canada. I'm keeping him anonymous a little bit, and always preached about how much I love it. What, you know, we might as well mention it. You're in Vancouver. I preach about how much I love it and what a great city it is. However, in recent years, the more I think about it, it has really started to lose its appeal to me. One, weather here is pretty depressing. It rains almost daily for 9 months a year. Never gets too cold, but is dark, gray, stormy, and wet day after. That would drive me nuts. Fuck the liberals. That would just drive me fucking nuts. That whole Portland to Vancouver, fuck that shit. We just had 3 months of rain almost every single day this year. The summers are nice, June through September. You can enjoy the beauty nature that Vancouver has to offer, but the window is so small it's almost irrelevant. I would say weather is the biggest thing prompting this question. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Even hairy, stinky liberals with tuberculosis panning for money out in the streets, that weather would get to me too. It's almost exclusively leftist, feminist, progressive, to the point where people cannot even conceive that others could potentially have a different view. The level of arrogance and ignorance is astounding. Counterintuitive, though, is nowhere to be found. Thought is nowhere to be found. Most people actually like our unqualified snowboard instructor, self-proclaimed male feminist, Prime Minister Justin, you forgot nepotist, and think that Donald Trump is a racist, homophobic Nazi. Well, I take all our fucking immigrants then, all right? That might actually be good. If Donald Trump was smart, he would take measures to like just ship everybody to Canada, just drop them off on your front doorstep. And because diversity is a strength, according to your buddy Trudeau, who's never worked a real job in his life, and that's not a joke. Living here my whole life, I'm used to this bullshit, but moving somewhere to get around some people who share similar values to myself, conservative, capitalist, libertarian types, would be a nice change. 3, although I have done well financially and was able to buy property, the real estate prices are crazy. My 600 square foot condo is just assessed at over $700,000. You can buy a lot of land in some of the lesser populated areas in the United States for that. That is if it's even Canadian. A decent house, not even in the best areas, are at minimum $1.5 million, if not $2 million. When I look in other cities in the U.S., I could have an estate with a pool, etc., and daily sunshine for what I bought my small shoebox condo for. Before doing some business in the States, recently I've enjoyed the United States business culture versus Canadian. They seem to be much quicker, ready to spend money, and more open-minded when it comes to business. In general, just get shit done kind of hustle type of attitude. I know that is just some personal anecdotal experience, but hoping this is true of the most part. I don't know. I mean, the United States operates at a molasses pace compared to what I want to operate at, and I haven't spent enough time in Canada. I'd say there's probably no difference whatsoever. But, God almighty, you guys just voted in your George Bush of the left, a nepotist, idiotic fuck. You know, I even like George Bush. You guys did worse than a leftist George Bush. You just got the biggest fucking pussy ever. And then Canada's always been like, you guys went with the original Trudeau. Maybe it's a little bit faster. I mean, if you go to Texas, I would say it's state by state basis. You know, you go to California, fuck it. You know, go Washington, it's going to be no different than Vancouver. But you go to Texas, you go to Raleigh, North Carolina, or you go to, like, you know, where there's a little bit of Americanism left. Yeah, they got more hustle than your fucking Canuck over in Victoria Island. Yeah, every week I keep fantasizing about Texas, Raleigh, Arizona, etc., getting a bigger property and living in a better climate. My overall question is, based on the points above, are the cities in the U.S. you recommend that are tech hubs, have a great climate, less lefties, and are reasonable real estate prices? I may be 12 to 24 months away from having the ability to leave our local operation and work remote for extended periods of time. My ideal situation would be to keep my place in Vancouver rented out and work remotely 3 to 4 months throughout the winters. Try out a few places and maybe get an operation for my company set up in one of the U.S. cities to spend even more time to relocate down the road. On the personal side, I live with a girlfriend. She's on the same page. More because of weather. She's younger, so no pressure. Okay. Sorry, I'm running out of energy. You ever get those weak spells where you run out of energy and you gotta eat sugar? Oh my God, you're diabetic. I don't know what it is, but that's what happens. All right. I'm going to recommend you read Reconnaissance Man because it's going to go through a much more thorough analysis of it. But to just escape winter, I'm going to recommend the following: Nevada, Las Vegas, or Reno; Phoenix, Flagstaff, or Tucson, Arizona. I like Denver, although winter, they still have winters there, but Denver still, but it's very pricey. I like any Texas town except Austin. That's another place to get warmer. Kansas City, winters are not as bad, so it's tolerable. But before that, I'd recommend Tennessee or Florida, because those both also have no state income taxes. In other words, except for Arizona and Colorado, they have state income taxes. The rest of them don't, and they have warmer climates. Certainly, or a lot more sun than what you got up in Vancouver. You would want to visit during winter, where the climates are very nice. Summer in some places is going to be hotter and unbearable. That's why, I spend my winters down in Vegas and I spend my summers up in Minnesota. Which one is for you? I don't know. This is where you have to go and visit these things. So what I would say, if you're not ready to take off for the next 12 to 24 months, I would actively start doing your reconnaissance, reading Reconnaissance Man, of those areas. Fly down for a weekend, scope it out. There are a ton of you Canadians coming down to Vegas and Phoenix, even Puerto Penasco, Mexico. That might be something to consider as well. Just south of Phoenix. There are options. All of them are good in terms of tax treatment and climate, but I don't know whether your personality and your girlfriend's personality would jive well with the local culture. I mean, I like Phoenix a lot, even though there's state income taxes. It's relatively low. But man, if it isn't some great hiking. Man, if it isn't just some nice, and you got all the stuff you ever wanted in the desert. Vegas, I really like Vegas. It gets a little, some shady area. They're not bad. It's just trash. There's a lot of sin and vice, what you'd expect in the city of sin. But man, if there isn't a ton of fun stuff to do there. Tucson is a nicer town if you want something a little bit more small town with a lot of amenities, but not as big as a major metro area like Phoenix. Texas is a whole other ballpark, and don't expect a lot of mountains. It's like, here's a big town in the middle of the tundra with some desert and cactus maybe, or maybe a little bit, and some tornadoes. Look out. Hey, some people hate tornadoes. I like them. They're cool to look at. It's up to you. Florida, again, flat as a pancake. Flat. And you better like food and the beach and fishing, because there's not much else to do. You will eat a lot, and then there's a lot of old people and a lot of people and a lot of tourists. There's not much unique to Florida. It's a big-ass fucking mall. Big-ass mall with a ton of fucking restaurants. That's Florida. Until you get on the inside, and there's a little bit more dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And then you're on the other side. Jacksonville, Tallahassee, no. Gonorrhea, no. The Panhandle is more Alabama than it is Florida. And then the Key West, like, well, man, you still agree, man. So Florida does have, but the rest of it's just a flat fucking mall. Just a flat fucking mall. But you got to go and visit these places on your own. But those are the ones I'd recommend. And I'm trying to think I think those are the ones I'd recommend. There's no, New Hampshire's going to be too cold. Those are all the state tax-free and a little bit about their cultures and personalities in each state. But you're not going to know for yourself until you go there. So I would definitely start taking weekend trips when you have the weekend. If you can start working from home, start flying out, man, and start working from these places. Ideally, you spend a week at least to find out whether you like this town or not. Get a car, drive around. You're just going to drive around and look, and you'll find things that you do or do not like. You breathe in the air. Oh my gosh, we're allergic to pollen. We can't stay here in Denver. Your girlfriend gets bit by a scorpion, which, not a scorpion, a tarantula, which is normally nothing bad. Most people, oh, she's allergic to scorpion, tarantulas, and she has an emergency visit. Oh, no Dallas, Texas for you. Or Phoenix, Arizona. So it's really up to you and your personal personality what's best. But you have to put yourself in that situation and environment to find out whether or not it's for you. Because someone in your exact same situation, you know, up in Canada, he or she could love Phoenix and hate Denver. And you could hate Phoenix and love Denver. It's really a personality issue because I can only tell so many things about the economics and the business climate and the actual climate. The rest of it is going to be up to your personality. So get the book Reconnaissance Man. Get it on audio if you're a busy guy, so you can listen to it, you know, on your flight down to Reno. But that's going to go through a much more thorough analysis and methodological approach to doing this. But you're just going to have to go out and start exploring. That's what you're going to have to do. And yes, it is worth spending the money on the hotels and the car and the rental to figure that shit out before I think I like San Antonio, and then you're like, oh shit, I don't like planes, and then there's an Air Force. I don't know why you wouldn't like planes, but I'm just saying. You guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. Give me the money. It's going to be a wiser investment than your college degree, and that I'm not fucking joking you. We'll talk to you guys later. Toodles.